Good morning, Gage. Good morning, Rob. How you doing, good brother? Two of my favorite dudes. Glad to see you in the same place at the same time. Got a couple of James Bonds in here. I'm gonna see if my microphone's ready. If it's not, I'll just talk louder. It's not quite. I'll just speak up a little bit. We got some projects to finish up. Um, in particular, the neck piece we were doing last night. Forgive me for my attention bouncing around. Just getting it together. Top of the morning, Wes. Hey, Frank, how you doing? Guy with the coolest name in the world. What's up, Jesse? How you doing? Good to see you. I am just pulling y'all up in the chat here so that I can not lose my mind and not lose track of it. Really easy to do that here. I am going to adjust my chapters real fast so that all your messages show up. So how are y'all doing today? Rob, how's your video doing? Rob has a short absolutely exploding last week. So his channel, I'm sure, is getting some benefits from that. Subscribers and such. Hey, Kevin, how you doing? Mr. Kevin in the building. How you doing, sir? Good to see you. So, yesterday, we made the necklace. The day before that, we made this pendant, and it wasn't quite what I'd hoped in the finish. And part of that was because this wood changed so much. I did not have an idea what it would be. I did that purposefully, but I ended up regretting it. It started this color. So the color I put with it was this color. And that looked like a great sort of contrast, right? But when the oil hit it, this is literally off the same, this was attached this way. It changed drastically, right? And this is the same wood. In for the life making breakfast. How you doing, Mike? Well, we're here for you, Mike. So, by the time I put the color on, the linseed oil on it, I was like, whoa, everything looks the same. That's a completely different species. That's a completely different species, but they look the same. And there's a lack of contrast, and it was bothering me pretty hardcore. Because I'm going to keep putting linseed oil because I have to get it saturated so that I can put my final finish on it. But this morning I put this on. Color-wise, similar. And then I thought, freaking contrast the background. Had the scrap of maple left over. Boom. That's gonna be dope. So I'm gonna trim this maple up, put some nice edges on it, clean it up, and try to make it background piece, sort of like how this cherry is the background for this piece. Hey Steve, how you doing? We're just over here talking. Now I do have a question for the chat. I don't know if y'all hear me or not, but I do have a question for you. Oh, Steve's doing good. Good to know. My question is, this is graffiti inspired, mind you. Would it be better straight on like that? I am going to let the tail, the bottom of the can hang a little bit just to have some contrast. Would it be better to have it straight on like that, or in which case I trim the sides a little bit, or put it on a slight tilt, which is kind of cool. 216,000. Yo, that's amazing, Rob. Freaking amazing, Rob. Frank Sinatra, I'm kind of leaning that way too. You guys may not know this about me, but I get a little bit, I need lines straight, clean, that kind of stuff. But this just seemed like it worked. I just sat it on there and it was tilted, and I said, oh, that's good. You know what I'm saying? I'm still going to trim just a hair off the sides, and I think I'll make it a little bit shorter. And we'll do that over at the chop saw. You guys are brilliant. I thank you for that. I love that everybody chose the same thing. I love that. That means I'm on the right track. Because I do second my OCD will always challenge directional changes. Y'all gonna have to forgive this noise for a second, all right? Or prepare yourselves accordingly, because it's going down. This little thing is fantastic. Nasty Nas in your area. About to cause mass hysteria. Nas. All my lights on? I swear it gets brighter and brighter in here. I get more and more used to it. And then one little bulb goes out, and I'm like, why is it so dark? What's wrong with the numbers today? I don't know. I'm learning not to put too much thought into numbers anymore. I think truly and truly, that based on the numbers are a measure of potential attention. And that's it. It don't have to be bigger than that. However, for my mental well-being, I have to care not about those numbers, because it's not an absolute. There's so many different variables that can affect and change them. And I'll blame myself for some of those things, and I will scold myself for it. And that's not good for me. Or I will attach some sort of success or failure to it, despite how I felt about my presentation or whatever the thing that I was working on in that process. Um, so yeah, pay attention to the numbers, but don't let them emotionally affect you. Maybe someday. How you doing? Frank Sinatra says YouTube's been messing with everyone's numbers. They don't want you to know how many actual viewers you have. Sometimes the key is just do what you do, and eventually they straighten out. Part of it is, I think, Frank, um, I'm going to step a little bit outside of some of y'all's comfort zone here. So, fair warning. Um, I was talking to my wife about this yesterday. If there's any outside help from the universe, right, for us in our lives individually, if there's any outside help, like if there's a dude that's like, you know, you send him an email and he's like, they're like, hey man, give me a hand. My shit ain't working. Uh-oh. Like I said, some of you is gonna be like, what the hell? So, and then he's going through those emails and he pulls up the video footage, right? And he decides who he's gonna help with what in what moment. Because we all get some help in some moment, and some of us will call it luck, and some of us will call it faith. Some of us will not even notice it. But if I were the assistant in charge of delivering emails to that dude, I'd pull up the footage and I'd say, this dude over here is doing good stuff, but he ain't getting any assistance. I think we throw that guy a bone to keep him going. Then we have a meeting about it. You say, okay, let's see. And then you roll back some footage of another guy who's like, he's done some work. And he's like, sends his email, and it's like, what the heck? You hooked me up last month, and now I'm not hooked up this month. You're screwing with me. I might leave that email on red. You know what I'm saying? I look back down and that guy's still going a year later with no help from me at all. I'd look at my boss and I'd say, hey, you remember this guy from last year? Yeah, the whiner. And I'd say, this dude has done 175 pieces of content with zero help from me or you. I'd be like, word? Stuck in there? Like, yeah, he's stuck in there. All right. Drop the blessings. Drop the blessings on this guy. He figured it out. He figured it out. You know what I'm saying? You cannot lose if you do not quit. Literally. When I was competitive wrestling, after practice, I ran every day. I ran for at least an hour. Because there was a guy on the other side of town who was state champ. And our schools just happened not to meet, even though we were in the same city. We were in different districts, size-wise. And for 2 years, because I knew that if I did meet him, I felt like I could compete with anybody. But in the off chance that he and I were the same, he wasn't going to outwork me. If he was going to outwork me, he was going to have to be up 2 hours after practice. If he was going to beat me, he was going to have to hit the weights every day. If he was going to beat me, he was going to be in that gym until his arms were jelly. I never, ever met him. I never, ever stepped on a mat with him. But all that work, nobody else beat me. The work gets rewarded. I don't want you to ever think that. If the work isn't rewarded, it hasn't. Then you're too early. You're too early. You're not ready for the success yet. You get the success when you're ready for it. On whatever level that you're prepared for it, you will get it. But the level prior is what prepares you for the next level. Pay attention to the level you're at. Give gratitude and thanks for that. And watch. Watch. I remember being so thankful for having 50 subs. When I got 50 subs, I went and got my wife. I was like, look, I'm going to be able to go live after all eventually. Because it was a level. It was a level most didn't get to. And then when I got to 1,000, I'm like, oh my God, this is a level most don't get to. Most people quit before this. I'm not special. I didn't quit. I'm not special. I'm not going to quit. Or I am special, and I'm not going to quit. It's y'all's fault. Y'all the ones came in here on a Sunday morning. You get what you get. ATP, is this a woodworking channel or a freaking guru channel? Because you're spitting fire right now. Thank you, bro. Hey, Gage, what happened, man? Oh, hold on. Let me look back. Just posted a short. Caleb does chuck a lot of wood. Since my last few views have been copyright. Oh, yeah. That does suck when that happens. Two dudes. What's going on, good brother? Check him out. I've just recently started getting the alerts for two dudes. Lives. Good lives. He's one of those guys that can sit and talk to you and do some stuff at the same time. Engaging and a cool guy. Should check him out if you get a chance. Look what that maple is doing. See, this is what I thought this was going to do, really. I thought it was going to do something similar. Look how, you know what I mean? But look how different. Crazy. But I got this little shallow little paper right here at the bottom because I wanted to give even more contrast to that, coming like it's coming off the block. Boom. Nah, man, nah, man. Do, 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 do. I don't know why I went Super Mario on that. So now the idea is we got to sand these back down just to get them dead flat and then mate them to each other. But I think that little bit of chamfer I gave it softens the edges. That wood grain shows it's quite lovely. And then I've got the arrow showing. I'm going to drill that little bit of pin out because I decided to put the pin in this instead, which is a smarter thing to do. And then we got, whoa, the whole thing went for a second, y'all. It's freaking out. It's freaking out. Yeah, thank you for hitting that like button. Thank you, Cedar Grove. Appreciate you. Hey, what's up, Mike? Bow. Mike Taz. Mike Taz and his wife are doing woodworking. You should check them out. Let me say this real quick for y'all, each and every one of you. If you happen to be in blue or green right here in this space, you feel free at any point in time to post your channel if you want. Do not have any problems with that. I do not care about people promoting their stuff here. We are a group, we are a squad, we are a community. And for a lot of us who are watching, a lot of you who are watching now, you watch me for the same reasons you watch maybe Cedar Grove or Mike Taz or any of the Rob, any of the number of channels that are in here. We watch each other when we're on, right? So if I went off right now, Cedar Grove went on, we would go watch him. And I think everybody needs to be able to access the other good channels that are doing the stuff that you want to see. And what we want to see, I think, for me, is just see people doing stuff, doing different stuff, have some conversation with some people who understand my hobby as well as because that's what they're doing or that's what they watch or that's what they're into. And that's cool. That's just like having communion with friends, you know what I'm saying? So, again, y'all feel free to post and pop that stuff in the chat. 198 now, Cedar. Come on, people. Two more. Let's get Cedar to hit 200 subs today. Everyone deserves some support. Nah, some people don't deserve some support. Some people deserve to get their act together. But Cedar Grove is not one of those people. He deserves some support. Came in here. I came in here and threw shade on my own channel. Oh, man. What if I had put a doggone magnet on it? I don't need a magnet on it. I'd be tripping. This is bulky intentionally because the guy who I'm doing it for is a big guy. He's a tall and heavy guy. So he told me, go nuts. So I'm like, yeah. I'm gonna set that there, and then we're gonna get some. Oh shit, we got sandpaper right here. We don't have to travel for that. I forget sometimes when I get set up beforehand, and I've got all my stuff right here. I'm so used to scrambling around this shop. It's almost like that's more the norm than just reaching over and grabbing something. But I'm working on it. ATD says, yeah, you're not wrong. Some people just suck. Hang out with the like-minded people without hanging out with like-minded people. Well, hanging with the like-minded. I like that, two dudes. Yeah. On the other side of the country sometimes, on the other side of the world sometimes. Rob over there speaks the old English, the way the ancestors used to speak, along with the dinosaurs. Isn't it? Gage says, I'm close to 100 Matter of fact, I gotta start posting stuff. For sure. Definitely do. And old Gage, he's not close either. I never would have bumped into either of those guys at the grocery store, right? But here they are. Here we are, having a good time together. Rob is really uh, a friend. I appreciate that, son gun. Even though he speaks the language of cavemen. Hey, see, did you hit that 200? Did you hit it? Two Dudes is a legend. Gotta hit record. I talked about that in my last video, carving a gnome house. I didn't hit record as much as I should have, and now I regret it. No, you shouldn't regret it. What you should know, you learned from it, right? So that's the good thing about, oh snap, that should have been better. That should have been different. You know what I mean? Is that there's a next time. And it's like, oh, so now you can be like, oh, that can be different. That can be better. You know what I mean? Can be. I like to get rid of all the shoulds. You know what I'm saying? The shoulds will make you feel like something else. I should have done that. I should have made that move. It's always in reference to something that you can't change. And what good is that? But could suggest possibilities, could suggest future, could can happen in tomorrow, could can happen in today, but should have. That's only in reference to something you can't do nothing about. So, told you Sunday morning, man. I didn't mean to do this, but come from a whole bunch of preachers. If there's any trade in my family tree attached to generations, it's the book of goodness. Oh, I don't carry one, but I don't diss nobody. All right, we're gonna do this one with super glue. Hey, Beard Grooves, how you doing? Yeah, that's true, but I was having a mental week of being too hard on myself, thinking like, yeah, this won't make a great video, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Brother, every day, every day, every day I think, this is brilliant. And then I go, this is stupid. I really do that a lot. And sometimes I'm right. Sometimes I'm completely wrong. Some videos that I almost deleted turned out to be my best stuff in terms of the numbers. And some videos I did that seemed like they should have done better. And I had this weird entitlement kind of attached to it. Like I was being cheated or something. I don't know. And then I just realized, man, you could just do it better. If you do it better, people will like it and comment, or just, just better. And I had to just learn to talk myself into doing better. Just better. Not the best, not greatest of all times, but just better on the next one. Don't call myself a chump because of, you know what I'm saying? I quote Anthony Joshua on this all the time. Don't let your successes get to your head. Don't let your failures get to your heart. May the woodworking community say. Mhm. Yeah, it can be hard on YouTube because of that exact reason. Pour your heart into a project, 300 views, and spend 500 minutes on a video just to post 4,000 views. But it's a lesson in it, right? There's a lesson in it. You can go, what about this video was so intriguing? What about this one maybe wasn't so intriguing? And sometimes it's just time. Sometimes it's just time, really. Some videos I've even forgotten about. They're shorts or whatever. And then I go back and check them. And when I last saw them, I had 400 views. And then I go back a month later and they've got 6,000. And I'm like, when did that happen? On a short, I don't have any, I have long form, but not a lot. Another one of those things that I can do, but I'm aware of it. I don't beat myself up about it. And I continue to try to elevate what I'm doing here so that I can do better long form. When I do it, it'll be nice, you know? Well, we can't improve on perfection. This is so true, Sig. This is so true. I mean, of course, I'm not speaking about you, obviously. YouTube only likes my walnut and epoxy. Well, YouTube really likes those two words, Cedar Grove Box. YouTube really likes the word epoxy and it really likes the word walnut. Um, and that covers a lot of space in the YouTube world, right? In the woodworking community, because there are channels who detest epoxy builds. And there are people who absolutely love them. Both will take a look. But the people who detest epoxy are in love with walnut. So they're going to show up. So, you know, there's some rhythm to all of this. You know what I mean? But it's all very, very like Runic came into the chat and explained a lot of this to me the other day. That some of this is seasonal. If I hadn't woken up and got mesmerized by Ben Winkle, which I do not regret, because morning coffee and watching Ben do this magnificent wood turning is magic. But anyways, if I hadn't done that, I would not have forgotten that it was the first Sunday of the month, and I would have gone to the car show. But you got to go early if you're going to the car show. And then I was like, oh, maybe I'll go fishing. I was like, but I want to finish my thing, and I was like, I'm gonna finish my thing because I got to put some work in on this channel, and my fishing doesn't do a whole lot. But when I get a moment, I'm gonna also go fishing. But I'm gonna give my future West a good go by trying to get him some content out there so that when he gets rich off YouTube sponsorships and endorsements, he can look back and say, glad you did that live, buddy. We didn't realize the Wu-Tang Clan was gonna be in there that day. We didn't realize RZA was just gonna be scrolling through his phone and see your freshness. You write names in the sand till we get acknowledged. Yo, those people who do that calligraphy, they like shoo, 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 shoo. Janet, shoop, shoo, 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 shoo. Ricky, shoop. Oh, thank you, super chat, thank you. Man, they be getting it. Like you want to grow and have actual feedback, like genuine feedback is what helps the most. That is very true, ATB. P. Like you guys, it's funny before I finished this. I thought I was really close to finishing this, and I put the finish on it, and it got very dull, in my opinion. And then it kind of outlined that my proportions were intentionally skewed, but it didn't look aggressive enough. So I had to straighten it and go back to symmetry. And I did some of that off camera because I was like, this is boring. And I was a little in my feelings about it. I really was like, I'm going to have to do this all over again with something else. And then I just kept at it. And I think I landed on success here. I think I did. Who's Keith? Hey, Keith. Oh, is Seg or ATP Keith? Who's Keith? I call y'all by your screen names because I have an awful memory for names. Sometimes, literally, I wait for other people to say your name in the chat because I forget it. I do that with my honey's handmaid. In my brain, I still call him my honey's handmaid, but it's Steve. Okay, ATB is Brandon. Keith is two dudes. Bet. I'm going to try to remember that. Thank you, Sig. I appreciate it. Wes, you said something about fishing. What do you mainly fish for? I am, sort of a creek and, uh, yeah, sort of a creek fisherman. Um, I don't go out on big lakes much, but there is a rivers and stuff in my area that I like to go to. So usually I'm fishing for panfish or bass. I really like the smallies, and there's a great place if you're willing to walk out on some rocks at Sweetwater Creek near me. That man, you can really pull some nice bass out of there. Like yeah, like you know what I'm saying? Like some. The biggest I've ever caught in my life was a 4 pounder, but man, I've caught a lot of 2 pounders, and I'm really like that'll make you feel good. Yeah, you catch a good little catfish, a little blue cat. Oh, they'll give you such a fight. Steve, Steve's got a roll. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you, Steve. You have a great day too. Yeah, I love them smallmouth. There's a lake not far from me, says ATB, and I'm trying to catch some pike out there. But I fish primarily for bass. Love it. And bow hunting. Oh, that would be cool. That would be cool. Yeah, we get some flathead cats out here. We get some blue cats out here. I love catfish, boy. So look, I think we're dried up. I am gonna hit this with the belt sander once I have confidence that all this is held together well enough. Um, I may even come through the backside of this with something. I'm gonna do a little signature. I do my signature on my stuff. If I send something to you from now on, I will sign it. I sign it with my graffiti name. It's always kind of been my signature um, for my art, so that's what you're gonna get. Just moved to Bordeaux, France this summer, and I'm trying to find new sports for everything. Oh wow, that sounds great. I wonder what kind. Well, so what kind of fish are out there? That sounds exciting. Are you near some water? Hey Steve, great video on the succulent. Nice. And Dave's just posted something. Check it out. A lot of perch. Ooh, I caught a perch once. It was awesome. It was awesome. That thing was gliding. Yeah, it was totally unexpected. Wasn't supposed to be out there in the water I was in either. Hey, Nikki, new. I always want to hug Nikki. Hey, Nikki. She's got the best smile in all the world. And a little cute doggy. epoxy resin. Um, yeah, I pulled all the epoxy off of this thing that I put on the other day, except for just a tiny little bit here to give myself a little gloss to look like the paint was running out of that tip. And then I left a little bit down here just to keep that shine. But once I spray all this with the, I'm gonna put a why am I losing the word? I have a little miniature stroke right now. I don't know. But I am going to spray on some gloss finish, some 2K or 1K gloss, automotive grade finish. As soon as I'm confident that this and this are married, the contractor in me wants to put a screw through the backside. I don't often want things to be held exclusively by glue ups. Um, I got some confidence in this, but not all of it. I probably will eventually cut out, put the Forstner bit in there, and then just put a tiny little screw that goes in and I know grabs this good because I don't want problems. Thanks for everybody who did hit the like button so far. I appreciate it. If you haven't and you just forgot, I forgive you. And I humbly request that you do it now. We've been having sermons in here all morning. We got to throw something in the collection plate. You know what I'm saying? I feel the spirit telling me, give me your likes this morning. Give me your subs this morning. Give me your super chats this morning. We're going to agitate this probably way too early, but if we do, you know what we can do? Fix it. That's right. Fixing. So we're going to do it. I'm going to put a tiny little hole right there. First, I'm going to see if I got a tiny little drill bit in here. Scanning the room. Not seeing the little baby toolbox with the drill bits in it. Alternative. This frickin' thing. Uh-oh. Was that nature telling me no? Was that being denied? Let's see if the microphone's ready yet. Nope. I think with the microphones, when they die, I want them to charge all the way up before I use it again. And then I try to use them until they die again because otherwise those little batteries, you'll train them to have a short life. Just a little contractor creator tip. Who else feels like a snob when they tell people they are a content creator? So you just don't tell people that. Hey, happy Sunday, Tim. Happy Sunday, Mr. McCall. Happy Sunday, Crab. Mr. Crab. Doo doo doo. Arr. I went a little deep there, but I did it on purpose. Remember, those other ones broke off in there. So what I want to do is make sure that I get it not only down in there deep, but a little bit of that head down in that thing because I do not like the idea of that protrusion happening too high. Then I can also kind of use it, the extra space in there as a place for my super glue to set up, pull and grab around those pieces and parts in there. If I can find another one. Feels like another one. Every day I come in here and date myself with music selection. Hey, Dave. Dave Hart, everyone. Two dudes said, so I got sidetracked from the, decided to build a stool for the shop after watching Wes chilling on his lives. Dude, what a great decision. And my bench is, there's a whole playlist in my, on my page of this bench build. It's all short, so it's not like a long thing, but you can see exactly how I do all of it if you want to do the same build. This thing is 2x4s and one 2x6. It's heavy. I can even use my hatchet to chop wood on it. It's fantastic. Fantastic. Highly recommend. And obviously that's not a flex on me. I'm not the first person to build a bench, but I can testify. Come up in the spot looking extra fly. Who else thought that? Who else had that playing in their head when I said that? Bam, 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 bam. And this is spinning. It's grabbing. Um, it ain't grabbing like. Shoot, I don't want to grab too pressured because you know what happens. And usually with the CA glue, the moisture in the wood itself helps catalyze it. If that's the right word, I don't know. But it make it get hard fast. How do I like that Bauer? I've been thinking about getting one. Mixed reviews a little bit, Dave. Um, I don't dislike it. There's things that this was the only one literally that I've ever owned. And well, second, but the exact same one. But about 90 days into maybe 60 into using the first one, it conked out on me. And this one, if you listen close, okay, see that little, it's got a little slight rattle in there. It didn't do it just then, it did it when I was drilling that hole. I don't know what that means, if it's going to break soon or not. It seems to work. It's a light duty machine, I'll say that. And they have a heavier duty one, uh, for sure. I would probably recommend that one if you're going to be doing a lot of stuff and going through any tough wood. This is great light duty for light carving. Uh, but if you're definitely going to be doing any power carving, I would just go upgrade to the bigger unit. When the first one broke, they replaced it with this one, no problem. They didn't argue anything. They just gave me a new one. Um, so shout out to them. Uh, that's a big thing about when you're getting, sort of budget tools, is you still want a warranty. You still want a good, a company that'll stand behind it. If they don't stand behind it, then, you know what I'm saying? Because I could have taken it back and then just upgraded to the bigger one, but I think I paid just over $30, maybe. In my head, it's 34, but it definitely wasn't $40. And for it and the little kit of things that you get with it, get this little pack of stuff, right? That's a lot of what you need to get started. With just this, you'll know whether or not you even want to do this. And if you do, then you haven't blown a lot of money. You use this for the fine detail stuff on softwood, and you upgrade to the bigger one, spend a couple more dollars, and have some power if you need it. That's my review on that one. Yeah, Harbor Freight tools are great. I got this from Harbor Freight. I know it's like this because I literally take it out to the job sites. I build decks, and sometimes you got to get in little spots, and this freaking thing is fantastic for. And then clean it right back up. And after cutting pressure treated wood with it all day, I can come right back in here and I cut this stuff up with it. So Harbor Freight, good stuff. So that worked out. Let's go ahead and put it on its beads. See if that joker will hang and look like we want it to look. Still haven't done that part yet. Come up in this spot looking extra fly to the day I die. Real quick in the chat, right? Don't worry, I won't get offended. Say you were into a particular group, particular hobby. Yeah, say this necklace, this piece right here, right? Now, most of you guys wouldn't wear this, right? I totally would. But say it was something that did represent something that was your hobby, your culture, you know what I'm saying? And you saw the work in this, what would you guys price it at? Now, mind you, I've already gotten paid for this, so it's not gonna hurt my feelings, and it's fairly relevant. But I just want to know, just so that I can figure out where I should be floating stuff at, because things are gonna be hitting the website soon, and I gotta have an idea. Now you gotta mind me that I'm short, so this is gonna hang probably here on that guy. But Benjamin did this morning. He asked people what they thought pricing his bowls, what the price should be, because he's opened up his website now, and he wants to get a gauge for how people receive art. Again, yesterday, I promise you, every single day I'm out, somebody says something about these necklaces. You're making asking the wrong guy on price, and I made a beautiful mallet and posted on my channel asking what the price is soon. So hop over there later and let me know. Oh yeah, for sure. Give me your yeah, yeah. ATP Creations. Go somewhere and post uh on something of mine so I can see you and I can follow your channel over there. Oh. Here's what you can do. Here's what you can do. You're a mod now. So you can post your channel in the chat. I will hit it on my other phone over here. And then we can then I can go subscribe and check it out. Gage says we had 85 subs. Right on. Good stuff. Good stuff. I should put a goal in here. Goal amount. Super chats. Oh, I don't know if that'll work for me. Let's try that. Boom. Boom. All right. This is what he got. Got a busy day. I'll see you later, fam. All right, Gage. Have a good one. Hit the like, says someday. Oh, she loves we. Beer Grooves says peace out to him, to the good brother. So, okay. Here's what we're going to do. Somebody's going to get a mallet today. Somebody's going to get a mallet. I'm going to do the mallet giveaway when we reach our goal at the top of the, wherever the heck they put the goal at. I don't know. I don't know about this. This is new technology to me. But I'm trying it. Trying new things. That's what they say, right? Try new things. If you like sewing, watch this channel. Jackie at Taz River Artisans, right on. I definitely need sewing help. Sewing help. I would imagine. Does she do any leather stitching? Show you what I got, dude. Ooh. I got a whole bag of this kind of leather. I think this is pig leather, but it's thinner than like, you know, what we're used to with sheaths and things like that. So I got to figure out some stuff to do with this. Strops, yes, I should make some strops, and I might make some strops. Beard Grooves, thanks, dude. Appreciate that, bro. I think I make some good mallets, but somebody's gonna get one. So y'all get to work on that goal right there, so we can do it. Anyways, maybe I'll make a strop. I think I could make a strop, or I can make a mallet. We can vote on that though. Y'all don't do much activity though. If I ask y'all to vote on stuff, y'all really don't be doing it. So I don't know. I don't want to be embarrassed in here asking questions looking crazy. So maybe I'll just decide on my lonely own self. Weep, weep, cry, cry. Stropper mallet, what say we? But either way, we're going to give it away, whatever it is. Jackie's not done leather yet. Her machine can, she just has not. I need to get her subs up. Okay, we'll get those subs up. Let's go. Whoa, Wes, I just got here. You made a new NY Fat, bro? Yes, dude. I'm so glad somebody pulled up in here and knew straight off proper term for the thing. Oh, my man's in them. Commission piece, bro. Peep. Peep. Look at the top. I know you're going to appreciate that. Hmm. Commission piece. What do you think? Too sick. Thanks. Spliffy Spence. What's happening? Appreciate the correction on the autocorrect. Thanks, Biffy Spence. Appreciate that, Mr. Number 5. I'm going to put some more linseed oil on this thing. And hopefully, by the time everything is dried up enough where I'm happy with it, we'll put the gloss finish on this and see if we can make that thing pop. Bam! Jesse! Jesse with the super chat. Appreciate you, family lamb. This is what we talking about. This is what we talking about. Sunday morning, somebody done dropped something in the offering plate. Rock, rock on, in the words of Pete Rock. We having us a little hip hop Sunday morning and woodworking. Jesse is helping me reach my goals, and I appreciate it. Jesse, I don't know if you know this, but that makes you the leader in the Mallet giveaway. Jess, numero uno on the Bencheroni. Shout out to all the real graffiti writers. Right on, Mr. Five. Right on. That's a beautiful piece. I'm trying to figure out which one I want. It says Mr. Black Spook. Yo, right on. Two dudes. Ba-da-ba-ba-da. Dope. My guy Keith. Now I know his name, and his name is Keith. I'll remember that forever. Cool Keith. Cool Keith. Two dudes. Cool Keith. More linseed oil, let me see. I'm gonna pull this off of my own neck so that I can put the linseed on it and show homage back to the OG Doom. Doom still hasn't gotten the final coat on it yet either. Ah, let's go, Jesse. Let's go. I really appreciate that for real, y'all. I really do, guys. I know I know what this economy is, and I'm feeling it. I know you are too. Um, I appreciate the blessing. We giving it back to somebody today. In Mallet love. So as Mr. Jesse, I'm calling Mr. Jesse. Jesse is number one in this thing, and Cool Keith has entered the building. Keith D squared. Dude squared. Wes, I was listening to Rex and Effects this morning. My neighbor was laughing his ass off. Where you was out there bum stiggity bumming this morning? That's what you said? You was out there bum stiggity bumming on a Sunday morning. Ba-doom boom. Ba-doom boom. That was one of the hardest tracks of all time. That song came on, boy. Couldn't wait to get my way over to my amplifier and adjust my levels. Ba-dum boom. Bump stickety bump stickety bump bump bum 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 Poppy the fee fight the full figgity fump. Here I come, so Peter Piper. I'm hyper than Pinocchio's nose, cause I'm a super califragilistic tic tac toe. And that's oopsie daisy. Yo, I got the crazy. Tracy with the gravy googly goop. Where's the gravy? So 1, 2, buckle my shoe, yabba-doo, hibbity hoo, cracker brew. Unfortunately, Rob, this economy has hit me far too hard to ship overseas on this live. This is not always going to be the case. It is not always going to be the case, but it is going to be the case for today's event. But as we begin to do this, like I put the goal up there in the corner, um, eventually we'll get to some numbers where that will be possible internationally because it'll cover the shipping. But I know in the US, I can cover my shipping with the goal that I've set in the chat just now. So that's kind of the purpose, the point, and it's unfortunate that my administration has not been able to figure this international thing out. But do enjoy your content, and once I get my stickers, I will be able to ship my stickers and stuff. And maybe even we'll just have to see what happens with the website once it's up and going. It may automatically do all that stuff and calculate it. And if it does, that'll be awesome. But for the giveaways right now, um, continental US, this is something big. I should also add my PayPal or Venmo in the description. I should. I gotta figure that out too. Tube foolery. America was the case that they gave me. I like this with the gloss. I like this with the sheen. Mm. It reminds me of a comic book I grew up with called Brother Man. And it came out when I was in high school. And I was like a black comic book character, hero. Really good graphics, really good drawings. And it was two brothers, David Sims and his brother, um, who passed away. David's since changed his name, but the Brother Man comic book was iconic for my generation and for my group who were graph writers and all those guys. You should also add, yeah, right, Wes. I'm waiting to see the cost will be to ship to Lions Fix It shop. Um, I will tell you this, um, Mike. I shipped Rob a mallet. Hey, Rob, if you're still in here, do you care if I tell publicly what your mallet costs to ship? It's not a flex or a diss on any country, but I could tell you pretty accurately. You have 5 tattoos of aerosol tips. Yo, that's dope. You should post that in my community page, dude. Come on. Come on, fam. That came out fantastic. Thanks, Cobb. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that, man. I think so. I'm really happy. I was waiting to have this feeling for this piece because I didn't have that feeling that I'm having now before. And that's how I knew it wasn't done. You know what I mean? Oh, so it doesn't work on your Apple Pay for right now. Working to fix that. Oh, ATP, if that's what you're saying, you want in on this, let's do it. No worries. I can definitely put my Cash App in there. I think so, Cobb. I think so. And then that little taper I got on there just makes that tip just sit off the piece. You know what I'm saying? Gives some depth itself. You're gonna guess 120 to ship it? Double that. Double it. I'll show you this mallet. I literally built this mallet from for lions. And I was like, bro, I can't afford to do that again. Not right now. And he was gonna ship something to me as well. I think some wood. And he was like, yeah, bro, it's it'd be too much. So we just agreed to wait it out a little bit till either I've got more money, or our economies are doing better and getting along with each other more. You know what I'm saying? because I'm just I'm that person. Like when I've got it, I will do it. Like like with Rob, like I was so excited to get that to Rob, and we had agreed on it um, fairly early. He won the contest, and it went to Rob, and I wanted him to have a mallet. I really did. For what he's doing over there, I really wanted him to have a mallet. And his channel wasn't at the point where it was making any money yet, um, so it was an expense that I knew he wouldn't have to carry. You know what I mean? In the in buying a mallet or buying the equipment to make a mallet, um, which he does have now. But it was a channel I find extremely helpful that I wanted to be helpful for. It gets so much use too. That's right on. The back plate makes it really pop. I'm telling you, that makes so much sense. Oh, it's a sick mallet. I think you'll like this one, built after seeing your style for that one. Awesome. He uses it daily. That's great to hear, Rob. That is great to hear. ATP says my wife worked at the coffee shops and missed their coffee. So for Christmas, I was shipped 10 pounds for coffee here, and it was 180 plus VAT. It was nuts. Oh my Lord. Whew. Some good coffee, though, wasn't it? I bet you that coffee tasted incredible. Now, I just shipped to Denmark, um, and it was not as expensive as that. I've shipped to Canada, and it wasn't as expensive as that from the U.S. From the U.S. to Canada, I mean, from the U.S. to Denmark, you cut that number in less than half. Um, if you ship to Canada from the U.S., you can cut that number in half. So you can ship to Canada for about a fifth of what the UK is to ship to, and to Denmark. Although Denmark has a lot of restrictions, you got to be careful with them. But you can ship to Denmark less than half what the UK is. 18 bucks a pound plus tax. That coffee better be high as it better be some mushroom coffee. Whoa. I don't know how she tells the difference if she drowns the coffee in creamer. That's funny. Rob, that's an unfortunate thing because he's really not. He's punishing us. It may be an effort to punish somebody else, but it's certainly impacting us more than it's impacting anybody who's already rich. You know what I mean? That's the crazy thing. I made some stuff for Lions and Cobb, says Mike Taz. Almost done with both. Just waiting on Lions to address so I can price it out. In the next week, I'll have Cobb's done and ship. Hmm. Yeah. Lions is a little timid about the addresses, I think. Maybe hit him up offline about that. Um, yeah, it's understandably so though. He's a good looking enough guy. On the internet, he might be prone to stalking. The first time I was on Lions Live, some lady was asking him if he would do a calendar. He went off. I'm here having my coffee in your right way, sexualizing me, innit? Like, what the fuck? Sort of stupid, isn't it? Sort of spazzing. Spastastic. Got the best curse words on the internet, that dude. So let me see. Usyk says, "Salute West. What a day yesterday. Hit 4 for 4 on my parlay. Anyway, Mungia Benavidez for the win. Yes, sir. Congratulations, fam. Got you some bread skis." Uh, Rob. Rob is always in the cut, waiting to come accent shame me. Oh, what's my cash app? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna drop that cash app in the bottom. Hold on real quick, yo. That's my bad. I don't be knowing. I don't be knowing. Let me go over here and find it. Boo, 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 boo. Where's the little button? They be like, yeah, put your thing on the phone. Tell them who you are. Hold on. Go back. No. No. That. All right. Just put it down there in the shit at. I didn't even know it was that. And then canned message. How's that? So, you guys who want in, um, feel free. Right now, we got Jesse and Keith. And I'm over here about the options. So, you can get this mallet pre-built, or I can build you another. I was thinking oak, like a solid oak. Or I can make you a strap if you want. Either or. Man, man, I'm so glad about this thing turning out how it's turning out. I really am. Really, really, really am. And then, you see that when the oil is working its way in, it's always a little bit spotty, a little bit. But then when you put finishes on, it's floods. It's good. Good. Here grooves in the piece. Lines is careful with his deets. I've been emailing a couple months now. He forgets the address. That's my experience with him. Eddie's done wonders to help that young man. He absolutely has, agent. Um, Eddie Reynoso's a great trainer, incredible trainer. 100% agree with you on that one. So I've been getting good shipping from Japan to the U.S. and recently quoting Denmark a pin. 35 shipping, 35 customs to the U.S. That isn't. I believe Ben coming sending the plates to me um, right at $100, and that's his business now. And his website is up, by the way, and fully functional. If you want to go over there and show some real support for a really good, talented guy. And it's not as much to send away from Denmark, but for what he sends, what you get, and for the price of it, for what he's gonna price it for, man, it's absolutely worth the shipping. 1,000% worth the shipping. Oh snap, Rob, have you entered the contest? Or are you just giving us love? Mugia's movement had you jumping for joy. That's great because Mugia was a flat-footed clubber lane. 3, 4 rounds where Sendez only landed single-digit punches. That's wild. Don't that someone else in the U.S.? Oh snap! Right on. Cobb Mountain put us on in here. Thank you, good sir. Thank you, good sir. Listen, I'm dope. That's dope. That's dope. So let's look at our goal over here. Who we got? We got we got Cobb in here. We got Cobb in the donate boat. Cobb, you down for a mallet? I mean, I know you might already have made one or a strop. Is a mallet good for you? Let me know. Let me know. This makes me feel like a big time YouTuber. I'm gonna be honest with you right now. Getting super chats. What? I have the pallet mallet. Oh. Well, would you like a West Desert mallet or would you like a West Desert strop? And if so, what type of strop would you like? What kind of sharpening do you do? I don't know. I don't recall the pallet mallet. Pardon, but it sounds like a branded thing. So it sounds like you might have that part covered. Made from a heat treated pat. Nice. Word up. I gotta go check that video out. Did you filmed it? Because I want to see that. Or is there something else, Mr. Cub? Pallet mallet. Get down. Pallet mallet. That is 4x4 chunk of birch, and that right there might be pine even. You made it before you started YouTube? Right on. What up, Spiffy Spence? Glad to have you in here. Still in here. That's a mighty mallet. It's still my most ergonomic. It's one of my favorites. You can see kind of the progression um, of my mallet building in pretty much 3 very distinctive mallets. It's like the stages of does it. And these are and I'm bringing up the ones that actually got the use. Oh, one of them is getting the use right now. It's in my truck because I'm building a deck, and I always have one with me. But here's my other favorite. These are my faves. This one is fantastic. I beat the crap out of stuff with this one. And I can tap very gently with stuff. Just the ergonomics of it's pretty good overall. And that's just a pressure treated 4x4. I carved it down with the spoke shave. It's about all I used on this one. I built this maybe a year ago when I got my first spoke shave, my only spoke shaves. Talking like I've been in business forever. And then I made this one. And the experiment on this one was to get the angles for the striking and to get the handle really good for my exact hand. And I really accomplished that. And it was my first through tenon. And it worked out. It opened up later, and I put that second wedge in that corner, but it still does work. And then this thing I use all the time. It gets loose though. I didn't put any glue in it, but every now and then I'll knock that head back down, smack that wedge back in. Eventually I'm probably gonna have to put in another one. But that's probably my most complicated handle today. I like it a lot. Definitely my most complicated inlay with 3 species of wood in there and some epoxy. And it still didn't turn out perfect, but it was a good lesson. And this leather on this side was a fantastic decision. Fantastic decision. And then the hardwood on this side was an equally good decision. And I would do all this over again anytime. But this one I was building mostly to see if I could do some of this stuff. This one is a fantastic tool. That one is too, but this one I can hit anything with it because I don't care about that end, and it doesn't. It's a soft enough wood that it doesn't damage anything either. Beard Groove says that one is sweet, so nice. Thank you. Cobb says I did one angle face and one flat face on mine. Exactly. Exactly. With this one, I did the same for Robin, and it's a little bit more angle on this side. It's almost a 90 on this side, but not quite. But I don't know if Rob noticed that, but it's a slightly different angle, and it worked out really good on this one. I use this one all the time. Um, it's good wood. It's got very little damage, like I said. This one can be the giveaway. Let me check real quick, make sure I didn't get. Oh snap! I got cash apps. Spliffy Spence is in this thing, y'all. Coincidence that I just got. We 4 out of 5 for our goal. We only got one more, and we make a chili. So the winner gets to decide which mallet they get to have. This one right here, or an all oak one. And I'll judge it up. I'll judge it up. I do some fine work, my friend. Thanks so much, Beard. I appreciate that. Stealing that for sure. Definitely. That is exactly what my channel is about, dude. Exactly what my channel is about. I need to put that in my title. I'm here giving you a ton of stolen ideas and some original ideas, and for you to steal and use as you will, because the great thing about the YouTubes is we get to borrow from each other's experience without having had that experience. And we get a leg up on the movement of whatever it is that we're trying to do, because we've got somebody that's already gave us some free game. We've already learned to avoid certain pitfalls that we would have cost us on our own out of just sheer ignorance. This is why I like YouTube. And I am excited that y'all did it. Gage, I'm gonna take a look I'm gonna take a look real quick, if you guys don't mind. Oh wait. Okay, sorry. False update. False update. That's my bad. That's my bad, everyone. Where's my coffee? Give me 1 second. I know I'm babbling. That's what I do sometimes. Maybe it's the coffee. But the next thing we want to do is build something else, right? Might as well get started on the mallet. Figure out stylistically what I want to do. Man, that something about that morning coffee in the afternoon. That's where I'm at as well. I try to do my own ideas, but some things are just really standard as well. Well, the learning of the tools and how to use the tools and what use the tools. Like, this is an original knife, but all the information on how to polish this blade came from Rob and Ron, and how to finish this edge came from Ron, teaching me via YouTube how to heat treat the type of steel that I was using. You know what I'm saying? And that's an incredible gift to have from people, man. I wouldn't have been able to make this without him. I wouldn't have been able to do this as well without somebody else's instruction, because there's no knife shop that I'm aware of that I can walk into and say, hey, let me learn how to do what you do for free. You know what I'm saying? So, shout outs to you guys, really. Spliffy Spliffs that always need coffee. It's nice to be able to help each other. It absolutely is, man. Love that knife. It's so cool. Great job, Wes. Thank you, Kevin. Mr. Kev. I appreciate that very much. I'm gonna see if I can get my microphone going. I am I kind of wish I could give that knife away. I just got too much effort into it, and I gotta sell some stuff on my website. I gotta figure out. So I gotta have enough inventory. So I don't have just two things up there. Um, but I got a tendency to give stuff away, but I like the feeling of it. Can y'all hear me? Try those Vortex Halo caps. Okay. Those things are wild. I think I saw some of those. That thing had a spread like that, right? Like you could pull it way back and get your letter and just tapering out real fat and big. All right. It's feeling like it's almost ready. I ain't going to spray it now, but I'm very excited about that. I'm going to scoot him to the side for a second. And then we're going to start figuring out this mallet. Sound is good. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate that, sir. Cobb says, Wes, I got to go on my weekly supplies. Have a good day, brother. Nice to see the chat. Have a good day. You too, man. Thanks a lot. We'll let you know. Hey, if you win, we got one more entry before we pull. If you win, what do you want? I just love working with my hands, says ATP. Always have. I love woodworking specifically. Sold my remodeling company in Ohio and opened a wood shop in France. One adventure after another for me. That's incredible, dude. Sell mine. I'd move to probably Thailand. Mallet, 10-4, good buddy. Have I ever made a lighter case before? No. I was thinking though of maybe using some leather to do that. My concern about a lighter case of wood would maybe it would be too bulky, like I'd be making it more bulky than it had to be without giving it quite enough flair. I don't know. But I was thinking about maybe stitching something like that, you know what I'm saying? Where you can just exchange lighters, put a little cross stitch on the back. I had some stuff like that. I gave it all, I gave it all away. So I can't show you an example. Um, but maybe that's the next thing. Maybe I should do that. I am going to do a mallet though. I ain't going to be over here just promising Thomases, you know what I'm saying? But one of my most successful videos to date was a little leather cover for an X-Acto knife. Gave it away. Oh yeah. This hook knife cover did it in leather. Works out really well. Got a little ball on it if you want to tie a knot. Also, I made the hook knife. I've got such a sweet lighter though. That runic turned for me, custom. Okay, I think I fixed it. Dang, I probably lost everybody. Ugh, I probably lost everybody. I'm sorry, guys. I wasn't looking entirely at my screen. I was, but my screen was playing back and looping and confusing me. I thought it was still going. So I don't know what happened. That's probably with the internet connection. I'm gonna go ahead and do awesome. I'm glad you can see me now. Whew. Those who start swinging like crazy and closing and opening. Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can never predict what's gonna happen. I just can't. But okay, I'm gonna say we got. Do we have any more time left in the goal? Okay, we got 14 minutes. 14 minutes. I'll cut that down to 5 minutes, and then that way we can get started, and then we can get to building. Because I'll make this mallet brand new. I'm gonna go on this other side of the shop, see if I can find stock. In the meanwhile, y'all feel free to talk amongst yourselves. Kick the Willy Bobo, as they say. I usually like to go like 3 degrees maybe on my miter for the mallet. Sometimes 3.5. So I'm gonna set up for that over on the miter table. Can y'all hear me? Is my mic still good? What I missed, sorry I made the boys breakfast. Mike, you missed me accidentally losing my feed and popping back. So welcome back. You're just in time. We have 3 of our goals. We got one more donation that can get us to our goal. And then we're going to go ahead and start putting our mallet together. Well, we'll start putting the giveaway together. Because right now we got Jesse, We got Jesse, Keith, Cobb Mountain, and Spliff. I did ATP. Let me make sure. Oh wait, no, hold on. Let me check. Give me 1 second. Whoop, whoop. See, I got SB's Cash App, but that's it so far. That's it so far. Yeah, Mallet giveaway. Mallet giveaway. Hey, someday, how you doing? I wish I could afford to enter, but I just got my prescriptions and now I'm broke. You got your prescriptions? I'll do that. Mallet, let's go. Mike is making stuff, took us over the top. My guy. Yeah, I got Cash App right down there in the pinned messages. Right on, Mike is making stuff. Big Mike. Let's put Mims on the board for the 10 spot. Yo, we got our shipping covered, ladies and gentlemen. Mike is the man, Keith. So we got Jesse, Keith, Cobb, Spliff, and Mims. Now, we're going to build this mallet. But first, we're going to figure out who gets it. Oh, I love a second cup of coffee, son. Second cup of coffee. So, everybody kind of does that website thing where you spin the doohickey around, which I think is cool. But I think I'm going to do something different. What if we let the rotary tool decide? What if we let the rotary tool decide? Let's put a J up here. The Jess. Mike is the man. Mike says, no, I am the man. Who's next to the man who shines shoes of the man who delivers the groceries of the man who is the man. Someday, thank you for the love. Thank you for the donation. I will have to say to you real quick, because I'll send this back if you like. We cannot ship outside of the continental U.S. right now. That may change at some point in the future. But currently, we cannot. I do appreciate you putting me on and you donating to the channel. Do not want to discount the love. And why here is no problem. No problem, my guy. So first, let's see if this will work. Yes. What a wow. Okay. So right here, we're gonna draw right here on the thing. Jesse's at the top. We got 5 folks in here. We got Keith. Put Keith right here. Got Cobb. Cobb's gonna be somewhere around 5 o'clock. We got Spliff right here. Cliff gonna sit over here around about 7. Then we got Mims. Mims is gonna occupy 9 o'clock through like 11:30. All right. You're gonna hit it once and then just stop it. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Boom. Straight to Mims. Straight to Mike is making stuff. Congrats, Mike. Mike's gonna get a Booger Mallet companion. Mike is also one of those guys who recognizes function over form and put him and Mike together in no time. ATV says rigged. Mike slid in under the gate like Tom Cruise, like as the door was closing, he was like, good in there. Tell me. Here, Cruz is hilarious. ATV is funny. Mike deserves it. It was perfect. It was perfect. He slid right up in there, man. He slid right up in there. All right, so we're gonna get started on this thing. We got to think of a handle. We're gonna go all oak on this one. So let us get to cutting. I'm gonna start over here. Now the camera angles may be a little bit subpar. I'm not exactly set up over here for that, just 100%. But we're gonna do what we can, fam. I think the first thing I'm gonna do is cut us a couple of angles. Wait. Did my screen turn green again? Shoot, 5 months. Shout outs to the Shoops. Shout outs to the Shoops. That is William and Miss Heidi, who is always showing up for us in this channel. And we appreciate those shops. I say y'all name wrong all the time. Y'all forgive me every time. I thank you again in advance for forgiving me for my recent indiscretion of mispronouncing your name. So here, we're gonna go ahead and hit that 3-degree turn. Fantastic. Now, we want the same thing on the other side, right? So bam, we go over here, hit that same tray. You feel? Right here, go there. I don't know, y'all. Let me double check that angle on this side. Make sure I hit where I was. All right, and then let me show y'all this. Let me show y'all this real quick. People was arguing me on the internet about this. This stuff right here is attached to all of that stuff right there. If you care about, all you gotta do is follow that line. You don't have to follow this. You don't have to attach to your blade, try to figure out how to get past the teeth. All of that's nonsense. Watch that. Watch those lines. You get those lined up. See that little bit of green poking through, right? I'm just line it up until all that stuff is where I'm sure that I'm lined with that line right there. Tighten that up. Those of you know, maneuver Midas already know this, but put that back. Watch this cut. Watch this cut. This ain't a flex, but this is me showing you proper technique that works in real life. I've moved that wood off. It's out of the way. I know I need a zero clearance down here, but I don't have it. I'm going to put that right back in that same place, right? Put those teeth right there against it, and I'm going to move it back a fraction, right? Look at that. What you're hearing is the teeth that just sit out a little bit, touching on the way down and coming back up. That angle is absolutely exact. That will be any miter saw you ever have, you ever have. That'll be true. Your blade won't get misaligned. That's an impossibility mechanically. If it does, it'll wobble, and it'll wobble at that exact same angle. So, you're welcome. All right, so instead of trying to duplicate this angle over here, I'm going to flip this board over, right, and just transfer that mark to the other side. It's a long board. It's a long board. So what I'm going to do is just cut that off so it's a shorter board. I'm going to follow that angle that I was just talking about. I can follow my line down here at the base. After that first one, I can use the second one as a template. So I don't have to worry quite as much about that. That angle will match that angle. Kabooyaka, right? So all I got to do is flip that over, match this angle on this side. Like so. Like so. And again, because we are perfect, I don't use that word often, in our angle and our cut, then all we got to do is bring it down, and I just slide this piece over until I hit the blade on that other side. Blink. Now, I move second piece. The teeth are holding this. It's in place. I lock it in with my hand over here. Make my cut. And we've got perfect sisters with the exact same angle. No doubt about it. We're going to hold that same angle. We're going to make a third. And we're going to do it the exact same way. Set that there. We're going to line them up together. We're going to lower our blade a wee bit. Let's see if I can get this a little lower if you can see it. I don't know if that helps you or not. Hard for me to see what you're seeing right now. I'm going to scooch. Wait. Yeah. Hey, don't judge me. I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. I tried that a lot of ways just now. And I'm mixing up this end with that end. It's a freaking circus. Some good coffee this morning, I'll tell you what. Can you tell? Can you tell how good the morning brew was? Last one took forever. Forever. So now what we should have is 3 matching pieces. Oh, it's sliding past the guard. Okay, we got 3 matching pieces. I'm going to take one of them out. We're going to decide what's halfway between these two. But we don't have to do that over here in the dark. We can do that over here in the light. And we can read our chats. Jeez. What? Woodchucker came in here and now it's 5 out of 5. My guy. With the bonus round. Woodchucker slides in here and gives us bread. That's how the brothers do it. Thank you, sir. Caleb put in 2 spots. Yo, that was dope, man. I appreciate you, good brother. I made a 0 clearance and loved it. Posted short about it. It's beautiful. Made from Peroto winch and the color cedar and it's sick. Right on. Damn, bam. 0 clearance is the way to go. Hold on, Caleb. You spun it, landed on me because it messed up the scheme and dropped the 10 at once. But yes, respin. West spin. Let's go. Nice ATP. Afternoon, West. Andy, tell him what he's won, Bob. A brand new mallet. This particular mallet is made out of oak, genuine oak, red oak from the great state of Georgia. Look at the wood grain. Nice, tight grain. We've got everything we want here. Nice sticker from the place that we picked it up from. Let's put it together. I ain't got nothing to throw that far to get his attention. That is funny. Pelado. What's up, man? Oh, we got his attention now. They're calling for a respin. Respin. We listen to the peoples. Mike is making stuff. Seems like you're okay with that. Let's double check and see. Mims, are you down for a respin? What say you? What say you? Respin. Fair is fair. I don't know. Fair is fair. We declared a winner. We did declare a winner. However, what is super fair is a respin, right? And Mims still retains his mallet. We'll respin for everybody else and Chucker. How about that? For Mims being a solid dude. We got Jess at the top once again. Cool Keith. Let's see, since we got 6 now, let's do it like it's a slice of pizza. I'm gonna put Keith right here down at 6 o'clock. I'm gonna put Cobb over here at 10 o'clock. And we can put Spliff right here at 4:45. We're gonna put Beard in there because it was offered to hook somebody else up. So there's Beard Grooves right there. Oh snap! The Shoops are in the building too. Okay. Mike says Booger Mallet is my lady. I don't need to make her jealous. If you want to pass on it, Mike, that's entirely up to you, good bro. Let's put who we got? We got all the original, and then we got Caleb, the woodchucker. Okay. If I win, let's auction it and do some good. We'll put you in the we'll put that second mallet up if you want, Mike. But this one that we're building right now, we'll go ahead and put it in this group. And this one, Mike, if you want it, you can have it. If you want to donate it, then we can definitely do that too. Let's see. Yeah, spliff. Okay, the Shoops got in here. The Shoops got in here, man. Cannot not acknowledge the Shoops. Chops. So now we got 7. Let me see what I can do. Let me see what I can do to get everything in here. So let's see if we hit our time, right? We hit our goal. So we got, let me just do it one more time. Let's just add another thing. And beer. So I've got Caleb, Beard, Shoops, Jesse, Keith, Cobb, Spliff, and Mims. Mims technically won that first mallet. It's going to be on him. I'll call this a second spin. And if Mike wants to put his joint up, that's completely on him. And we could do like maybe a second spin for that if that's what he wants. I'll let Mike determine that. He's the rightful winner of the first contest. So here we go. Caleb, Beard, Shoops, Jesse, Keith, Cobb, this is like the 14th spin, and Spliffs. Okay, got everybody. Okay, where's our Spinnerooski? The all-knowing Bala. All right, here we go. Real quick, I'm going to make sure it doesn't just somehow stop where it starts. We're at 12 o'clock right here. We're just going to hit it one time. Yeah, it goes wherever it wants. All right, here we go. You ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. My baby don't mess around. If I win, let's auction it. Do some good. All right, let's go. You threw it off. Foul on the play. Foul on the play. I didn't hit it fast enough. Everyone wins. Oh man. It's all ruined. Everything I've worked for. Ruined. Ruined, I say. All right. I'm going to float it above. I can't sing this time. It's just got to go fast. 1, 2, 3. Boom. That is J for Jesse. Jesse. Now, Jerome. Oh, did y'all see it? I'm sorry. It's right here. Jesse won. You get a mallet. You get a mallet. We'll get mallets. No, we don't. We don't get all mallets. A lot of us are getting mallets. One of them is going to be Mims, and the other one's going to be Jesse. I'm sorry. Yeah, Mims, not Jesse. What? Yeah, Jesse. That's weird how I just had a whole brain fart. So, hit me up with your address at westdoesitmail@gmail.com and any other relevant information that the post office is going to want. And I got you. We have covered the shipping right here in the live stream. Now, Mims, what are we talking about with yours? Jesse was here for the first attempt at this and probably has left since after being confused. Okay, that's what's up, Mike. No problemo. MJ Special, congrats. I've been watching you. Think I want to show you. This is going to be the inside of one. It's going to be the outside because of that, because I like it. I think it's cool. So that's going to be the inside. They all have the same angle, so they can flip either way. We're going to let this be the inside of that one. This one, we're going to find the center. We're going to work from there out. And we're going to figure out our handle length. Now, we could use anything with a straight edge to determine this. It's just got to be long enough to get all the way across that thing. So we're going to use chisel, straight enough edge. Now that one might have a taper in it, in fact. That's not long enough. This also is a proper tool for that. But I want to do it the easy way. The way that you can follow without no tools. All right, we'll just use that. Corner to corner. Pull a line. Corner to corner. Pull another line. That's the middle. If you don't have anything, if you don't have one of these babies, you should. But if you're saving up for one, most pre-cut wood will have a 90-degree corner. This one does, right? It might not be exact, but it's close enough. That's flat surface. I can put that up to that, and then voila. By lining that up, and I'm at the center, I've got the center at a 90. I measure out from that, I measure out from that, the same, and then I can create whatever I want. All right? But what we're going to do today is put our saw blade right through that center at this same angle. It's going to create a give, right? And a give, and it's going to create a little taper. Let's go see. We'll make a couple registration marks on here because I'm not measuring, but I know roundabout's what I'd like, right? Let's say handle wise, the width that I like, gonna be somewhere around that, right? So let's just guesstimate that. Take whatever you want and recreate that measurement. In this case, I'll use a little piece of tape. Stick it right there. Make that mark. Slide it right over. Up against that line. Make that mark. Boom. Back to our fake square. Go to that edge. On the long side first. That's probably long side. Line those up together. That edge. Make sure it's good. Make your mark. The same thing here. Line that up. Touching that. Got this edge flush. Boom. Those lines are parallel. Those lines are parallel and even this whole way. So we're going to get rid of this stock, but we needed these lines to know where. Right? This is the bottom. This is the top. Bottom down here. Bottom down here. So we don't make any mistake. Top, top, because we're going to cut through all of this. This is all going to go away. And we're going to go over to our miter saw. See the same thing that we got. Big Roo says, I need to pay attention so I can make my own since I can't win one. All right, boys and girls, says ATB, I got a jet and make dinner. Nice chatting with everyone, Wes. I'll catch you later, man. Appreciate you, man. I really do appreciate your contribution to the channel and the chat. Thanks a lot for coming through. And you don't have to try to remember all this because this live will be live forever. It'll be up forever. So you can always go back and make this. I've done this several times and I've got some shorts of the process. You just slow it down and you can see the whole process even on a short in my playlist on maybe First Day of Tools or How To's, one of the two. So we'll take this over and get going. So don't let none of this intimidate you, man. You can definitely do it. And don't let the contest stuff intimidate you either. You're definitely going to do other lives. So in this case, I want to cut that this way. Start it right there at the bottom. Let it taper up. Now, I'm going to show you the angle that I look at when I'm trying to line things up. What I want to do is catch this edge, and my angle's already built in. I've already set that, right? So it's going to come up and it's going to cut like that. What I'm most concerned about is the edge of my blade hitting there so that I can get the right cut. Now, to do that, I want to be inside, not outside. So to do that, I pull my blade up, make sure I'm not touching my trigger. And as I come down, I eyeball that blade. I just look right down it, and it'll tell me where it's going to hit, right? But you got to be dead on to that blade is like a straight line. And then you can, with certainty, see exactly what you're going to cut. So I'm going to go just inside of that line right here so that I can keep all of my piece on the right side. Going down. Right up. So I'm just right on the inside of that line. That's what I want. Now I got it labeled so so this angle doesn't confuse me and that angle doesn't confuse me. I know this is the bottom. I know this is the top. I know in the orientation of these two, that'll be the bottom, that'll be the top, and that'll keep me exactly where I need to be. So for this one, I need the taper to go that way out. Already got this angle set, but it's for that way in. How do I fix it? This way. Gives me a parallel to what I just made. So that's not the answer. This is the answer. But how do we do that? Let me show you. You just send your mark over. The mark that you're registering, just send it over. Now I know I want to go this way, right? So I can send this here. I can square it here. And then when I send it over to this corner, you can see where to mark it again. Remember, I got a flat 90 right here, so I can follow that. Now I've got that line over here. That's my outside of the taper. It's going that way. I'm gonna remember that. So I'm gonna give myself a little fake guide here. Right? So that I know I want to be inside of this and I want to cut to the outside. I'm gonna line my saw up again right here like I did on the other one, and it's gonna cut automatically that if I keep it up against the fence nice and tight. All of these rules / techniques are also true with almost any other type of saw, even a hand saw. All right, here we go. Top, top, bottom, bottom. I push those to the outside edge of the pieces I've already got cut. They leave me a good wedge. Now I just got to match that with a handle. I should make a line transfer. Yeah, probably should. That would be a good idea to do. So we got some tops and we got some bottoms. We got some insides and we got some outs. So we could put these together by just lining up our edges like we just did. And then we're going to put a cap on it like so. And that will be the basis of our mallet for the most part. So what I like to do is just keep my orientation good by marking the inside as I go. Switch that. Because these ends and edges are pretty precise at this point. And you can flip this thing over and just basically parallel and mimic what we've got there. And that'll also keep our orientation good. Easy to get confused. Easier than you think. Well, you saw what I was doing over there on the miter table. Easy to get turned around. These are very slight angles, and they've got a weird way of making everything look crooked and off because they're close to a parallel, but they're not. And if they're next to a 90 degree, they make everything look wonky. So we know we got to do that to that. We got that. Blah, blah, blah. But we're going to leave one of these open while we glue the other down so that we can figure out what our handle is going to look like. So I'm going to do that first and put a little glue, lock those in. That way they can be drying. We can be moving on to our next step, shaping and shaving. Shaping, shaking, shaking your bacon, baby. What if I open the glue up? What if I opened it up? Now, I'm going to show you real quick how to make the perfect glue up device. Voila. Voila. Don't tell me that's not perfect. I won't believe you. I'll cuss you for the liar. All right. Wonderful. Just kidding. I wonder if you two can tolerate my theatrics without AI thinking I'm a lunatic. Yeah, I'm a lunatic. I gotta get this off. I gotta get that off relatively quickly. Let's see. We might have to sacrifice the stickiness of a chisel. Look at that. When it's sharp, dude. Y'all know how these stickers are to come off, right? I don't know if you are a guy who's been at the box stores, but you know those stickers be on there in an ungodly way. Good sharp chisel. Slice that thing off like you cleaning up a work piece. Forget about it. Gotta go have a good one. All right, Bearded. Man, appreciate you hanging out, dude. Really appreciate you hanging out. I'm gonna hit this right here. Smack another little smithereen of glue on there. I don't get all the fancy glue spread devices. Like you can really do this with scrap 100% of the time. You can do this with the workpiece much of the time. Particularly if you're building a mallet. Make sure you hit your highs and low spots. Top and bottom. Now, before anybody makes the suggestion that I go run upstairs and grab some table salt, I'm just going to sprinkle some sawdust on there. Just going to sprinkle some sawdust in there. Does the same thing. And you just, don't go crazy with it. But I found it to hold pretty good. Or pretty well, depending on how you were raised about correcting people. So now that that's that, I'm going to grab me a couple of clamps, and I'm going to get that held tightly, snugly, and ferociously in place. Now, these aren't exactly where they're exactly supposed to be just yet, but that's what the clamps are for. And the sawdust should prevent excessive slithering, but these clamps, sometimes if you don't have them dead center to each other, they will muck around. But remember, we've already cut this exact, right? So all we gotta do is get something like tight, but not quite. Get to our edges. Make sure we lined up. Our glue is wet, so we don't worry about it a whole lot just yet. Getting the squeeze out, but I don't want it to prevent me from being able to see that I'm at my edge where I want to be. Don't panic about glues and squeeze outs and weird things like that, drips. Glue is really easy to clean up, wood glue, in two ways. One, while it's wet, wet cloth does a great job. Two, let it get dry and then hit it with a chisel. And it'll be fine. Totally. So we got that one set. We're gonna I'm gonna spin it around so we can put another one on. Gonna let him hang over that edge a little bit. The little clamps, y'all, are really, really helpful. All sorts of little clamps are. I will warn you about these bad boys, though. Very few clamps put straight pressure without pulling one way or another. So just be aware of that so that you don't panic when it starts to do it. You can sort of plan for that pull after a while. See how I just kind of pulled it back with this one? Now, I understand that that is also sort of the purpose of the salt trick. But for me, this one works fine. And nobody's mad at me for leaving utensils downstairs in my workshop. Because, maybe something's happened like that once or twice a day. 5 years. All right, so that's good. That's good. And look at me. I got this bench, right? I'm wiping the wood glue right on my bench because it doesn't harm it at all. In fact, it could be making it stronger, filling in all these mallet wax. Not wax, W-A-X. Wax, W-H-A-T. What? W-H-A-C-K. Can't believe I felt the need to correct that. All I'm doing is wiping off my excess glue because I'm a weirdo. And this is good. This is plenty. Now I'm going to put these on too. Not because this one's not doing what it wants to do, but because I can get a better balance out of a pair of clamps than out of one clamp. And when I say balance, I mean I can set it down somewhere where it's on 4 legs instead of wobbling or being weird or dumping over on its side and twisting stuff. So that's pretty much my preferred way to do that. We'll set that here. We can pull that out now. We can do it later. We can slide it out with a chisel later. Lots of options we have. But now we got to figure out what the handle is going to be. Obviously, it's going to be that same oak. I got to cut some in. Good one. Hey, my guy, sitting in chip shop, waiting on my dinner at the beach. Sunny Scotland, listen to your Bob Ross tones. Appreciate you, my guy. I do. How you doing? Home Seals in the building too. How you doing? Man, we got the whole crew in here. Thank y'all for these likes. I've got like 43 of them right now, and I'm pretty proud of that. So I thank you and I appreciate you very, very much. I'm gonna put another clamp on here because I'm a lunatic and I can't control myself. Good. But that's it. I don't need no more, right? These are all cut so perfect. I don't want them to be slipped the wrong way. And this is going to be crazy looking to do, but I'm going to do it nonetheless. Perfect. I know I triggered a bunch of old school video game heads. So let's consider what kind of mallet head we want to create. That's our maximum width right there. Cut us a wedge in, put that there. So that we are going to measure, or we can transfer the mark if we took a piece there, made a mark on that, and then took it over to the piece we're going to use. But I'm going to get a length on the one, and it's over here by the miter saw. So I'm going to go grab that. I'll be right back in a height track with a mic rack and a bike rack. Looking back till the light wraps. Bitter chat, we spit spat. Came back and he kicked the cat. Ripped the wrap, came back with a knapsack. Slim Fady. Lengthwise, what do we want? I'd say this one was a good size. That may be better. A little wider, a little bigger, a little broader. But I don't know the size of the man's hand who's going to handle this ram. So I'm going to cut it the best as I can. Damn, Stan. All right, so let's see the length that I'm going to go after. I don't even know if I have a tape measure in here. I got a mallet. I can just measure it. Let's take it over to the table, make a mark on it, cut it, and I'll bring it back so you can see. This is going to be a relatively approximate measurement. Sorry if you can hear me slurping my coffee. It's just so delicious right now. It's so good for me. All right, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to cut this at 90 so we can start with some squared pieces. And then we might put the hatchet on this thing. And we might put the belt sander on this thing. But one thing's for sure and two things for certain. It's going to get cut. That's got to dry, right? So once we get this cut and figured out, we're going to put the other piece on there. That'll be dry enough for these to have held together good. And then we'll do the full glue up with the whole head of the mallet. We'll let that be dry while we're sculpting this after we get those measurements. Let's see what we got. Where's my pencil? Right here. All right, we're gonna put that bad boy right there. We can find the middle of this thing the same way we found the middle of the other things, but we ain't necessarily got to do all that right now. I reckon I'll go ahead and get started on it. Put that sun gun right in the middle. Let's find him. Hell, I'll show you another way to find the real middle of something. Pay attention, boy. You'll learn something now. Pay attention. You get something in your noggin. So sometimes I'll just guess center, right? So let me look at it and say, let's say that's the center. And I make that mark right there. And I go, I want to confirm that. I want to notice that I'm not even going to use a tool. I want to confirm that that's the center of my board. I'm going to do my cheap tape trick. I might not want to walk out to the truck. Just fold that bad boy right over. I'm going to keep these lined up. If you keep these two edges lined up when you fold it over, guess what you'll have at the end? A 90-degree. Don't let it stick together first, though. Because then what you'll have is wrinkles. All right. Let's say that's what I thought was the middle. We're going to put it over here in the corner. Make this mark on our mark. And we're just going to flip that over. Go to our edge. That's our mark, right? It's over here now. What's the middle? You know it. You see it. Right in between these two. Take that same piece of paper. Bring that same mark down here to this side. Boom. Flip it. Boom. We got a thick little pair of lines here. You just hit the center of those, and that's plenty good. And all we're doing is trying to find center so that we keep symmetry, right? We're not trying to keep center because we're going to cut that line. We just want to keep symmetry. And again, we can do that with a number of things. All we need is a straight edge. I'm going to use this box. That box right there. Look down that line. Oops. Make sure you can hold what you're making a line from. So I got a rough center. So from that center, I can line up with that center. I can put my marks. Got a mark here. Got a mark here. And remember, now all we need is a 90. We don't need a tool if we don't have one. But if we have something, like we demonstrated earlier, that has a 90-degree on it, then we can absolutely put it on that edge, line it up with that edge, because we know we built that 90. Make us a mark. and that thing over. Again, 90 on the edge. That's why it's so important that if you cut a 90-degree on one corner, you've got something to register from that point on. We haven't measured one thing with a tape yet. Now we've got that. That's our width. We need our depth. All we have to do is put that right there. We're going to slide up a little bit because we want a little room to cut off at the top. I'm going to eyeball that because we gave ourselves extra. There's our mark. That's where our shoulder is going to be for our handle. And that's where our tenon is going to be. This is going to come off. This is going to come off. This is where it's going to stop. We'll use our same square. The same thing. Long edge on the long edge. Because we know we got a trustworthy cut. And we just make our mark across to define those shoulders. Carry it right across. That's going to be the same thing both ways. Boom, boom. That's trash. That's trash. That's our handle. Now, we'll shape this in some kind of way after we knock this out. And let's see. If y'all got the patience, I'll do this with the saw, the hand saw. And I'll set this to the side. We're gonna set our artwork over here like it was a castaway. Shout outs to this guy. All right. I'm gonna transfer those marks over just so I can cut a nice clean 90 here. I want the shoulder to be nice and square. You see, I'm gonna flip it so that you can see it this way. See what I'm doing a little better. Nice and flat on this edge. That's what that ledge is for. Eyeball it, looking straight down the corner. You can do this way. Put your pencil where you see it. You can slide it over. Then that'll account for the thickness of the pencil, pen, marker, whatever you're using. It'll account for that way. That way you don't have to worry. This is going, this is going, this is going. It's good to do that sometimes. That way you won't forget. You won't accidentally. Sometimes my brain will reverse things in these kind of scenarios. I'll go through the cut and realize, oh snap. In this case, I'm going to stay to the outside of my line. That's going to be here, not inside of the line there. Outside. And in this case, because of this tool that I'm using right now, and just the orientation of it, and because I don't want to grab and set up a vise, I'm going to do it just like this. I'm going to be at this really long, steep angle, shallow angle, but I'm going to be looking straight down the line of this saw and following here, right? That's going to let me get all the way down to about right there, at which point I'll bury, get through the wood and cut down that way. But for now, you can see I'm going to start right on the outside of that line. Got my finger here just to slide up against, avoiding the teeth, obviously. You gotta be careful that sawdust will begin to cover up your line. Gotta clear that, make sure you're not making an ugly cut. Also gonna want to check this side to make sure you're following a 90 here as well if you can. If you've got this tool that's how you can. And as you go, you can check the registration to make sure you're not skewing one way or the other. I'm gonna lay that flat. I got some weight on it this way, and I'm letting my saw do this work. Not pushing too hard, not clearing this angle too tough because I don't want to jump off. Once I'm in the groove, I just keep moving. Now, with this saw, everything else I did over there on the miter saws you could do. Just takes more time. I'm not using a lot of tools this time purposefully so that you can see that with a $7 saw, you can pretty much do this whole build. And you can skip the gym that day too. That's an added bonus. Lots of different ways to brace stuff. Now, hey, Ralphson. Nah, these vices don't need pads. I used to do woodworking shops in high school, but unfortunately my class was full of Muppets that messed around and tried to get you killed. Oh man, that sucks. Lockdown lumber, good kid trying to get a momentum. Who's that, Mike? And is he a member of this channel? Is he offering us some momentum as well? Now, as I'm cutting my line, again, this is my waist, so I'm on the outside of that line. It starts to veer a little bit, and that's okay as long as I know I'm veering away from my cut so I can come back in and chisel this later pretty easily and just address any tightness there. But you don't want to be accidentally going into your cut and making what you want shallower prematurely. Pardon me, jeez. Coffee came back and said hello. They all spent class running around, passing the emergency stop on people, so the teacher had to keep coming and resetting them. Oh, that's crazy, man. That is crazy. I'm gonna hit this other side of the tenon. Now again, a lot of ways to do this. Choice is yours. I'm putting my knee on it. And it's rested up against my workbench. That sound changing is me shifting this saw a little bit because I'm almost drifting into my line. I don't want to do that. Important to make those adjustments in real time so that you don't have a big old hook happening trying to come back and catch it. It'll make it a lot easier if you're just a little bit particular as you go and fix things as you go. Like soon as I started getting into the middle of this line, put a lot of pressure this way with a twist to get it back. And it's barely noticeable that it even happened because we fixed it in real time. Some say you need a vise that you can clamp secure to your bench. Much safer, Wes. Oh, I got a vise is holding this bench. And then I've got these holes in here to lock that vise down. And then I've got a Moxon vise that I built right there on that. And then I've got a leg vise that I'm actually going to put in there, but it's still in the packaging because, you know, I haven't really needed it. I tend to use things when I need to use them. But this right here, what I'm showing today is this one tool is pretty much doing this entire build. I did cut stuff over there on those miter saws so that I could go fast. But otherwise, this whole thing is happening with this so that people don't get intimidated by building a mallet. It's not as complicated as it seems. And you don't need as many tools as I have. So I'm trying to keep it a little bit minimum today. And a lot of ways to hold stuff. And again, like nothing of mine is in danger. There's zero chance I'm going to accidentally go through this wood and hit my leg. That's a lot of wood to go through with this saw that does it at, you know, an inch a minute, you know. So it's safer than it looks. Of course, be safe and think about where the teeth on anything is, and if it slips, what happens. You got to think about that stuff and keep it on your mind so that it becomes second nature. But don't lock yourself into, oh no, I can't build a mallet, I don't have a vise, because that's not true. And there we are at our shoulder. Hey, Ed, what's good? What's good? Ed, where did you say you're from again? Where are you from? I thought I knew, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm gonna put this right here, mostly so y'all can see. Again, I'm going to stay on this side of my line. Keep your teeth of your saw on this waste side, not the material you want to keep side. That's why it's important to make these marks. Because from this perspective, I can't see that to necessarily know which is my waste. But these marks let me know. South Carolina. Right on. I got your email. I got your email. So I'm going to put something together. I'm going to put something together for you. Mike says, I was still deciphering for a few seconds till I realized my name was YouTube backwards. I'm slow. Listen, I didn't realize that until you just said it. So I guess I'm significantly slower than you. It's a pretty clever name, though. I'm over here tickled and getting a joke late. This is official dad business. My dad would get a joke he heard at work over dinner. Burst into laughter. What happened? Well, Charlie said. I get towards this end, I get real slow in my cuts. Don't want to go beyond that line if I can help it. Perfect. I will let the chisel do the rest of that a little bit. I got what I want. I'm going to go ahead and hit this one too. Got the line there. I got my lines on my side so I can see them, but you can imagine what it looks like. Leg wedge. Scoob Dooby. Scoob Dooby is awesome. I'm telling you, I don't know any single person who shows more active support to the channels I really appreciate and roll with than Scoob Dooby. And man, I really appreciate that. I really do. Like, the support in the community. I want all of you in your 12-year-old minds to relax about the method of cutting that I'm using right now. I learned this in high school. Very effective. Shut up. Of course, you can call me Em or whatever you want to call me. Just don't call me late for dinner. This show. All right. This is what we got, y'all. That's what we got, y'all. All right. And secondarily, we got this thing drying up. Let's go ahead and get some of this excess glue out of our way real quick while we can. That's been clamped up long enough and well enough that we can start moving it around and maneuvering it, not worrying about things slipping. We do want to keep our pressure though. So I'm going to move these clamps, but I'm not going to take them out. Now, whilst I got that going, I'm going to use one of these fancy new tools. If you want one, you let me know, and I will. I'll get one out to you. Okay. This is one of my glue removal tools, patent pending. Okay, here we go. Glue removal. You guys let me know. 1995, I got you. 1995. Works like a charm. Did you see that? But wait, there's more. If you've got glue on the other side. Amazing. This does it. Glue removal tool. Not responsible for children, adults, dogs, cats, or other breathing creatures, or plants or animals that may be harmed using this tool. This is just around the corner from being able to just get chipped out. So Tight Bond is a really good glue. I enjoy it very much. I do not have any sponsored dollars from them. Okay? So relax, YouTube. Relax. Okay. This clearly needs to cut a little bit out of this. That'll be fine, but I just wanted to see if I was close. I am real close. That's enough for me to be willing to close this up. We're going to get our other piece that we appropriately marked so that we can, bam, fit all of our things together. All right, so we're going to give our mallet there a little rest while we glue this up first, and then we'll pull these off, glue those up, then we'll close it up, reclamp, kabooyah. Let's check and see if we got enough mouth. Yeah, that'll get all of them. This one won't. So we'll have these two on this side, these two on that side, and we'll work that out. And then afterwards, we're not going to glue this in here. We'll work it in like a mortise and tenon. We'll split that on the top, cut a hole at the bottom so it doesn't distribute through the handle while we shape this. West does it. He makes the mallets that the people want. Bum, 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 bum. I said West does it. He makes the mallets that you don't. Bum, bum, jump, jump. Oh. Scoop, you out of here? Gotta go, peeps. Have a good day, good evening. Thanks, Scoop. I'll at you. Yeah, right. No splinters for sure. That's what I don't want. Mike says, order yours now at 1-800-GLUE. That's 1-800. Okay, YouTube. I was making a joke. Me and Mike, we're friends and we make jokes. He has not sponsored me, and that was a made up imaginary thing. Okay. Cool it. Cool it. What I do with my smeartation device? 1-800. Okay, I won't do it. This does it. Now, in the case of wide-grained wood, or wood that's going to soak up a lot of stuff, it's sort of that grain that's got some heavy grooves in it. You put the glue on, let it sit a little bit. It'll sink into those fibers for you, and it'll really do some wonders. Set up a little bit, and then sometimes you reapply a little bit after that, and then close it up. Now I really do try to avoid getting too thick in the middle right here because I don't want a whole lot of stuff to have to scrape out. But I'd rather it be something I got to scrape out with a chisel, which is a little bit of a nuisance, a little bit of an enjoyment, um, than to not have a close, good, tight bond throughout. Good name, glue company. Good name. All right, let me pull this. Pull this. Ugh, 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 ugh. We'll go here because you want enough to go into that grain. You don't want it just sinking down in there and then missing the surface. So you want to flood the grain without flooding the piece, if that makes any sense. I don't know that I ever make any sense. But I made $20 today. So we can ship this mallet. So we can ship this mallet, man. Can we ship it now? Ship the mallet, baby. Shake it all about. Now, oak is a great material for making a mallet. It takes shock exceptionally well, in my experience. Tough wood, and you're hitting with the end grain. So, for me, not much beats it. And put me a little bit. I'm gonna put a little bit more glue on that one, just on the rim though. Just on the rim though, because it's soaking in nice and good. Put a little bit more on it. Make sure. So yeah, listen, y'all. When these YouTubers open up a little shop, or a website, it's not easy. It's not easy. Um, look around sometimes before you go out and buy tools or goods that maybe one of these smaller channels could be making for you. Like, even if you feel like it might be a little pricey for you, like, ask. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there's some negotiation room. Everybody's trying to make money. But supporting these types of things for these YouTube channels is supporting small business, right? And in a lot of ways, like I've looked at what some mallets cost, right? I've looked at what some chisels cost and what some strops cost and what seems to be the ones that trend. And they're out of my price range a lot of times. So I make it so that I don't disturb my household income with my hobby, because woodworking is a hobby for me. And a lot of you guys might feel the same way. But the benefit of supporting a small YouTube channel who's got a shop or is able to, you know, this stuff, even the guys doing the giveaways, I mean, understand they're doing the giveaways because there's some level of marketing to that, you know, we are all hoping to get to, where our stuff is good enough that people will be willing to buy it one day. And it can be an addition to our household rather than any sort of distraction from it, right? So, not just for me, but consider this. When you like these guys' content, and if all you can do is like the content, please do that. It's an easy way to really help throw the stuff out, because YouTube will show it to more people that way. And somebody who may be in the position to buy will run across it. So consider that. I know it's Sunday, and you know what you're getting from me. On Sunday, a whole bunch of old man telling you what to do. But I just wanted to run that perspective by y'all. I know a lot of the people in here are also creators, and they get that. This is also why my lighter is from Runic, because I need a lighter a lot of times. And sometimes it's nice to have one you can flex a little bit, and one that's going to outlast all the gas station lighters that you pick up just because it's convenient. That makes me feel super good. What are we saying? What are we saying? So you think Wes will be 24 in October? 24 what? 24 what? Yeesh. 24 months on YouTube, maybe. I think that would be like November. I'm just wiping glue off of this and wiping it on my bench. I always put it on the end grain of my bench because it'll keep it from absorbing moisture and spreading. I would always prefer to buy from small businessmen, creators, than conglomerates. That's so good and true. That gets repeat customers when they see the quality of the free product. Yeah, but it also gives you an opportunity to experiment, right? And to learn. Because I sent out a mallet to Calvin at Dad's workshop, who actively does woodworking. He was building a bed for his kids. And I made two really good looking mallets. I made them and put them together with epoxy. And they exploded when he tried to use them. The one that I sent to Rob, I used wood glue because I learned. And Rob beats the crap out of that mallet. And it's held up wonderfully. So, it's a learning curve, because Rob's got this version, and it works fantastic. And I've been using this one because I want to know for sure that what I've got is a functional formula. Like, I've been a contractor my whole adult life. I've been liable for everything I've ever put my hands on. Like, literally. I have to do a good job or I don't get paid. I have to do a good job or I get sued. So, that's the level of care and concern that I've kind of got built in naturally, or not naturally, but through that particular career choice. But makes you proud of what you're doing. Even if you're paranoid and you overclamp stuff. Even if you're a little paranoid and you overclamp stuff. But I only really needed like just the 2 clamps. And then a pair of companion clamps. That's all I needed. That's it. No big. But I really like to be sure of my squeeze out, particularly on the edges, because those are the solid pieces. That's what's going to get hit. I'll push that right into that end grain, right back into that joint. I want power. I want power. Same thing on this side. So, man, I appreciate y'all sitting with this lecture this Sunday morning. I really do. I'm going to grab a little Luncheroo. And then I'm going to build this handle. And I'll come back to it. When you come back, it might be a little different anyway. It might be a little different. But I will see you when I get back. I thank everybody who is here. I thank everybody who came here. Eb, look out for an email. I got you. Okay, chat. Y'all be good or be good at it. All right, Mike. Right on. I got you. I'll get your text and I'll holler back at you when I see it. All right, y'all. Be good. Be good to each other. Wes does it. Peace. Oh, yeah. Like these videos, subscribe, and look at all the stuff we're doing over here. We got a lot of good fun coming up, and I appreciate all of you so much. I'm gone. Yes.